after 6:15 and time now for What's Trending. Well, don't worry, kids. The guy in this next story isn't the real Santa, and he's okay. He's dressed up like the big guy and went parasailing near Sacramento, California in order to spread some holiday cheer. But instead, he ended up like this in the power lines. It's a sight no one wants to see. Santa tangled up, no sleigh, and no snow. This Santa was using a powered parachute to fly when he hit a power pole. This jolly Saint Nick, trading in Rudolph for this aircraft, was just trying to spread some holiday cheer. He was flying over to drop off some candy canes for kids, and, well, that's when he experienced engine problems. Sacramento Metro Fire say this Santa is hoping to bring some early Christmas spirit is going to be okay. People got a jolt of joy, though, knowing Santa will be able to take flight again after his entanglement with these power lines. If only Rudolph had been there to guide him. But, oh my gosh, Devin, just looking at this as such a crazy story that you never expect to hear, one of those headlines. Oh, yeah, Santa found in a power line. But just truly made for a great video and great What's Trending. I mean, look at this. This is fantastic just to talk about. But glad to hear that he is okay, though, because, dealing with power lines can be very tricky, so obviously it could have been very dangerous, but great to see he's okay, and hopefully he won't try that one again.
Yeah, I wouldn't try that again, or at least make sure you're not going to do it near some power lines, because, yeah, that's definitely not a good idea, because obviously once you get tangled up, obviously your best thing to do, don't move, because you don't want to get electrocuted, so you can de-energize those lines, so that would equal some power outages. But thank goodness, but I'm sure it was a mess to get all that entangled for probably several hours, I would think. What do you think, Peter?
Yeah, it must have taken a long time, but imagine being the responders, though, on that scene, getting that call, probably in disbelief, and then showing up to that. I mean, it must have been hilarious, I'm sure, even before they got him down. Yeah, they probably were snapping a few pictures or whatnot. Thankfully, he was okay, but also just imagine being in that situation up there. I don't know if it would be more embarrassing, or if at that point you might just have to laugh at yourself a little bit.
Well, as long as no one gets hurt, obviously, the biggest thing is obviously that then you can kind of laugh about it, but yeah, let's not do that again.
Don't try it at home.
This next story will also make you want to cringe a little bit. You might soon find python meat, yeah, python meat, Peter, on the menu in Florida. Scientists there are looking at mercury levels in the snakes to determine if they can be safely consumed. Burmese pythons are extremely invasive species and have posed a serious risk to native wildlife in southern Florida. There's even a contractor program that has already removed, get this, 6,000 pythons from the Everglades. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission says the pandemic has slowed down their research, which is not good. But they do say that they can determine pythons are safe to eat. It would help control their population. The concern is that the snakes, like some fish, could be full of mercury and a neurotoxin that is dangerous to humans. So obviously you got to do some research there, but that would be really good if you can try to find a way to get these suckers off of the street, because look how long they are. They're just ridiculously long. I've seen many specials done on these to where obviously they suffer animals to death, and obviously you don't want that. You want to allow other native wildlife to live on. So if it can be a tasty meal in our bellies, that's a good thing. Right.
You always want those native species to thrive, of course. We've talked about these guys before, though, the people who go out in Florida who are catching these pythons. I think even on What's Trending before, we've talked about, they caught this record snake. So they're getting bigger out there, and it's obviously a huge problem. But, it'd definitely be interesting to see if they show up on the menu. I know that there's, when you go down to Florida, there's a lot of different things you can try. I've actually tried fried alligator down there. That was pretty tasty. But Devin, I'm curious to know, would you try it if it was safe?
I don't know if it's deemed safe. I mean, I could definitely give it a try. And if it's really good, you might see me ordering it each time.
Sure thing. Yeah, I think I would have to try it too, just to have it. Well, going from Florida all the way up to Canada for this next story, 2 Canadians made chess into a winter sport. That's right, taking an icy plunge to play a game on a partially frozen lake. So let's check this out here. The two were planning to take a dip in the frigid water of Ontario Ontario's Oak Lake. Don't ask me why. They wanted to find something to distract them from the cold for more than 5 minutes. Okay, so the two of them decided to make it a game. Ron and Nick, that's their names. They started acclimating to the freezing temperatures way before the game by recording their chilly accomplishment, making a time-lapse video of the entire match, ending with a cold handshake. So McNaught here is part of Unbounded. That's a community of people testing their discipline through activities like cold exposure. So obviously a really good test right there, maybe one of the most intense ones they could do. But glad to see that, of course, they're both okay. Obviously, this is one of those stories where you look and say, only in Canada, right? I mean, I don't think anyone, even people here are used to the cold, but I don't know anyone up here who's crazy enough to do something like that, Devin. I
don't know, knock on wood, you might run into somebody, but I don't know anybody either, but who knows, we might get a phone call and who knows, you might be doing a story on a person out there someday.